the sweet mercy of are you?
Good question.
Let's travel back in time, because the first season is about traveling, but still, when you received the script for Doom Patrol, what did you know about this comic? Did you know anything about this comic, or it was a blank space for you that you could fill in?
I didn't know much. I remember when they said Doom Patrol, I was like, oh, I vaguely know this name. I know something about it. And I was like, are these bad characters? Are these villains? So I didn't know that much. And then when I got the information, and I read the Grant Morrison comic books and I looked at the script, then everything kind of started to form nicely for me, but maybe in a good way, because I was very, just like my character, malleable and bendable into what story we were going to tell. I wasn't stuck to any idea that I had,
And you build your character perfectly. Like, we can see from every season that she's progressing, that she's trying to stay in shape, like not falling apart. And I'm curious, how much of this construction of the character was you, and how much was the script? Did you have any contribution to how to develop her to make her suffering more visible for the viewers?
It was beautifully written. So I think it was in the script, but then when you get the information, you're like, oh, this is the circumstance in which this woman works. But then I have to fill it in emotionally, and I have to figure out why is she so tight? Why is she so wounded? Because it's and then it becomes a conversation with Jeremy Carver and the writers of like, where's her psyche? What does she come from? And so I think it was collaborative in that sense, not to mention wardrobe and costumes was a big help, because they also create this story. And so since my character is protoplasm, they were like, she really needs to be held in. So the first season I was wearing like, really tight pantyhose and like a bodice almost, like everything was very tight to help her move in the way that she was supposed to. So I want to say it was collaborative, but it definitely started with the writing.
Yeah, but you said about the costumes, and we can see that she loves the 60s and 50s, like the dresses and stuff. And I can see that you also like her in this style. Like, you don't want her to change. And where this comes from?
Well, I think it just stems from habit. And since she was a star in the 50s, she was this beautiful, wonderful actress in the 50s. I think she's kind of stuck there. I think that's where she's most comfortable. I think that's where she feels the most beautiful. So I think that's where she'll stay, because that's where she just finds comfort. That's where she defines a part of herself and who she is.
And when we're talking about comfort, I can see that her comfort is changing from season to season. She's progressing, she's moving, and she's starting to develop her skills, her powers, to know how to use them. Were you actually waiting for the moment that she will be a superhero, that she can move how she wanted to do, not with some of the mistakes, but intentionally?
Yes, it is very frustrating to be in, season 2, episode 6, and you're like, when is it going to happen? When is she going to do it? When is she going to shine? And also it is, and I really want that for her. And I feel like in season 3, she does start to have more control over her powers, and it's partly because she's changed and she starts to feel more comfortable with who she is. So instead of it coming out of fear and self-doubt and just protective mode, it now becomes this power is stemmed from love and joy. And so that's the shift for her in season 3.
So when we're right now talking about season 3, we as far as we know, there is a time traveler. But can you tell us a little bit, Scoop, what's going on? What's the main thing in the third season?
What is the main thing in the third season? Well, we've got brains. There's a lot of brain situation, which you'll see. The time traveling is very complicated and told incredibly well through the season. There, as you see in episode 2, we have a time traveler come in, and that is our new character, Madame Rouge. And then Rita also time travels. And then there's this constant loop of like past and present. And it's very hard to explain, but they do it beautifully in the show.
And how did you feel when you discovered probably that this show, it's not only one show, but it's like 5 or 6 dimensions, because there are many of those shows that are relating to each other. You even had a crossover in 2 different DC shows. And I want to ask you, how was it to jump to Titans for a brief second, to notice them and to show like, we're over here, maybe you can jump to us in the, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 7th season or whatever.
God bless you. I hope so. It's amazing. Because I feel like Titans, we're all like connected. We're all like born from each other and share each other's stories and pop in every once in a while. I think that's what makes it so special. And it's also kind of like a little Easter egg for fans, because if you're really paying attention to all the levels of DC, like it's like a labyrinth. It just goes on and on. I would love to have like Beast Boy like over on our side, because in the comic books, like Rita and Beast Boy are very connected. We call him Gar. And I think also my character being born from Titans, that was so much fun. And it's a completely different, like Titans is very, very superhero-y. And then our show is very psychedelic and funky and really silly with depth, you know? So I like that. I like the crossover. I think it's really, really fun. It's a trip.
Are you waiting for the next one?
Yeah.
I love how you responded that. Yes. And also, I have to ask, because the cast of this show is magnificent. And one of the crown jewels for the first 2 seasons was 007. How was it to play with actor that has such a big background, and with one role, he's how to say it? He's not unstoppable. He's immortal.
Yes.
How was it to play with him?
Amazing. Timothy Dalton is immortal. It's true. It's amazing. He is obviously one of the most seasoned professional people. He loves what he does. And I remember in the pilot episode, there was a scene where it was the Doom Patrol and his character. And we had shot his coverage, and it was like 3 a.m. And they were like, okay, Timothy, you can go home now if you'd like. But we hadn't finished the Doom Patrol's coverage. And he said, but don't you have more of the scene to shoot with the others' close-ups? And he said, and our person was like, yes, we do, but obviously you don't have to be here for that. And he was like, of course I'm going to be here for that. Like, these are my people. This is my job. I will show up for them. It doesn't matter if I'm off camera. And that was just like one of the most brilliant, beautiful things about him, is that he's just he loves it. It's such a craft. And it was really great to play with that.
And when you said there about people, my heart melted, actually, because there are not many actors that actually are going for this extra mile to say, they are my people, I will stay how longer they need me. Right. Usually it's like, I'm off, thank you.
Exactly. Yes, of course. Yes, that's what you expect. And you're like, I understand. But no, he broke the glass ceiling. I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah.
And when we were talking, I can actually feel that you are a comic buff. You are a little bit geeky. You know your material.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, did you start with this show or were you geeky a little bit geeky before?
I've always been a little geeky. Luckily, this show found me, and now I can truly be geeky and comfortable. But yeah, I think I've always been a bit. Maybe that's why I relate to this show so much, and maybe people always feel like this, that you're just like a little bit of an outsider, little bit, just a little different. And that's why I think this show is so brilliant, is because you can really. I just relate to it so much. Yeah.
And where you want your character to be taken next? Because as we said, she's progressing. She's going level up every time that we can see her when she fights her own battle inside of her. So where do you want her to bring this character next?
I would love, so in season 3, Rita Farr falls in love, which is amazing. So she's got that. But I would really love, I hope that we become like a full functioning superhero team. Like I want the outfits. I want I want us all lined up and prepared and ready for action. I think that would be really fun.
But you know, when the team is full functional, it starts to be boring. Like there has to be a conflict inside of the group every time. That's what drives the comics, you know, from years to years, that every time when you think it works perfectly, somebody says, screw you guys, I'm going somewhere else, or I don't like this one or this one, I'm off.
Exactly. No, that's true, which is why it hasn't happened yet. Still waiting.
From your point of view, not an actor, but a viewer, because I can imagine that you are also watching the show to see how does it look like after the all pre-production and CGI. Who's your favorite character? But be honest.
Oh, who's my favorite character? Well, I love my character.
That's original.
Yeah, I know it's very original. But God, who's my favorite character?
You don't. You have to think about it. You don't have one.
Right. I guess I don't, because I love them all. I guess it's just I love them all in their own different ways. But I guess our new character is Madame Rouge, and she's a hoot. She's really messed things up for everyone. So I guess I like that.
Yeah, but also in those comics, this group is also evolving and changing their teammates. For example, in the first season, your team was upgraded with Cyborg. So I'm curious, is there anyone you would like to join the team in the further seasons, except Beast Boy that you already mentioned?
I already did mention Beast Boy. Who do I want to join us? I guess it would be really cool to have like another lady. We could have Dove. We could have Dove from Titans come and join us. That could be fun. Who would you have join us?
To be honest, I have no idea. I actually wanted your crew to go to every TV show that there is. Like to see him with the Flash, and to see him to pop up to the Stargirl, to this universe for even brief moment, a second or an episode.
Yeah.
But one guy that I could see you with is Constantine. I think that he would be perfect to this group.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. It's just interesting. I didn't even think about the Flash. I didn't even think about Constantine. This is amazing. Okay. All right. I'll think about that. I'll pitch it.
And also, I want to ask you, how did the Doom Patrol change your life? Because your character, your career progress after this show. You could actually show people that you could handle one of the main characters, because usually you play the second characters or third. This time you received opportunity to play the first role, and you showed everyone that you can manage it. And I'm curious, how much did it change your career? How much people from the industry are looking on you differently right now after Doom Patrol?
Thank you for saying that. I hope that they are looking at our wonderful, amazing show. But I also feel that with this opportunity, I've become a better actor. Like I feel like I was given this beautiful, complex, damaged character, and she's got her sense of humor, but she's also very dramatic in a sense. And to be able to combine the humor with the drama was a great, fun challenge for me. And thank you for saying that it was a success. And I feel like I've grown as an actor to be able to play that, because I come from a comedy background, and I'm a very happy person. So it's very easy to go goofy. And so to be able to be grounded in my work with this character who is a woman, who is a damaged woman, like how often it's so nice to play that. And I feel just really grateful to have the opportunity.
Because I'm shocked that you don't know that you guys have a good show, because it raised the bar, I think, for the different comic series, because everybody wants to have this quality that Doom Patrol has, and that every season is a different story. It's not a copy of a previous story with only a different villain. It's like something different. It was different genre, different colors and characters.
Right.
And I'm curious, how long in advance you guys know which story will you tell in your next season?
Oh, we don't know in advance at all. We basically get the script. We get the first script, and then we get a call from our creator, and he kind of says, this is where the show is going. It's shaped like this, and good luck.
That's it. Do your magic, and
Yeah.
we will call you next time. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, okay. But so we don't get too far in advance, but the writers certainly have this beautiful gift and ability to make all the damage and the heartbreak and the journey worth 10 episodes. Like you go through it all with them, and it's quite a ride. It's very exciting.
But I can imagine that in third season, many things were very easy for you guys, because you know how it looks like. But when you were shooting the first season and they say like your face will be melting, this is not something you could actually play. You know that you will see it after they finish on the TV screen. So I'm curious, what was your reaction when you actually saw your character with the eyes of creators? Because I can imagine that it's different that you imagine when you were playing.
It's so different. And when I first saw Rita's face melt, it was very heartbreaking. And I got embarrassed for her because it was an intense melt. Her face is melting and there's no way for her to go. So, I mean, I can only do that so much, but then when you see what they've done with the graphics and everything, it's kind of heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking for me. I was like, oh no. But they're brilliant, and it's like this layer cake. It just builds, everyone's contribution builds and builds and builds until you have this like amazing layered show that just you could dissect for a long time, because there's so many levels.
So probably right now, when there's in the script written stretch, you don't think about it, you're like, I know how it looks like in the TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now I know what it is. Now I know what a floppy arm looks like.
Is there any power that your character doesn't have yet, but that you're waiting for her to develop?
I am waiting for no, not yet. I was like, yeah, no.
And also, I'm curious because is Doom Patrol taking all your time, or do you have any else projects that you could tell us about? Because I know that shooting a TV series that has 10 hours of screen time is very absorbing. So,
Yeah.
is there any time for any other projects?
We try to do it in the time frame, but right now, no. So, the only project is like, like the house, like painting and this, like, but eventually, hopefully, more things. But right now, it's the Doom Patrol.
And when you because you were shooting during the pandemic, and I'm curious, did it affect in any way the way you would like to shoot? Because there are those restrictions, the COVID restrictions, what you can do, what you can't do. Was there anything that was blocking the things that you want in normal circumstances you would do, but you couldn't?
Yeah, it really helped our story. It helped with filming, but we were very separated. Like normally the cast will have lunch with each other. We didn't have lunch with each other. We had to kind of stay apart from each other. And then if we got relaxed, COVID team would come in. And then it kind of felt like you were at school and you were doing something bad. And then that made the work very focused. Because sets are very fun and lively, but this year it was very focused and aware. Everyone was aware of the severity of COVID and what could happen if we got shut down. So it put this focus just into the work. So you showed up, you did your work, you went home, which I think helped my character because she's very focused this season, but it was challenging in that sense. We just want to love on each other.
Yeah, because it sounds very sad, like we did the job, we went home. Yeah, like you were working in a factory, like Fred Flintstone, you heard the bell, thank you guys.
But I mean, we did have some fun moments, but it was a scary time. I feel like nobody really you don't want to be the one who shuts down the production. So it was like everyone really was honoring that rule. And but it doesn't reflect in the story. The storytelling is incredible and warm and lovely. And I think we were able to perform with that freedom because we felt so taken care of. We COVID tested every other day and we had a whole team. So you have to be able to feel free enough to play. And we definitely played. It was just like when cameras weren't rolling, we were like, mask up, go to your room.